My name is Emma Waldman, and I'm a senior at the Charles E. Smith Jewish Day School in Rockville, Maryland. Today I will be discussing the different forms that the embrace takes in artwork. The embrace is very significant, both in life and when it is portrayed in art, because it can evoke a myriad of different emotions, including love, connection, stability, balance, transcendence, self-love and appreciation, and more, all of which I will be exploring in this video. I will begin by examining the embrace in friendship, and then move towards familial embraces, relationship embraces, and finally, self-embraces. The first piece of art I will be discussing today is by Auguste Rodin, entitled The Embrace. It is known to have been created sometime between 1880 and 1910, and the medium is graphite and watercolor. I particularly enjoy how this artist uses the concept of embrace to evoke the connection between two women, who could either be friends or lovers. The two women are naked, which I believe the artist chose to do in an effort to evoke their closeness. The hue of their bodies mimics the coloring of the background to reflect how their closeness in this embrace expands into the world around them. There's also light greenish yellow coloring and lines of graphite encircling the two women, which to me shows the energy that flows between them. This artwork is very interesting because it enables the viewer to physically see the power in an embrace and the connection that it creates between two people. The women almost become one as a result of their embrace, as the outlines of both their bodies and energies come together to create one form. Although their faces aren't ascertainable, the viewer is able to feel their emotion and connectedness nonetheless, reflecting the power of this embrace. This piece of work is extremely successful in evoking the vibrancy and the bond between these two women, making it a truly magnificent piece of art. Next, I will be exploring the embrace of a mother and child. This painting is oil on canvas, and it is called Mother and Child by Ji Pan, a modern artist born in China. I think this piece of art is very successful at reflecting the power of a familial embrace. I particularly value how the arms of the mother and child form to create the two top sides of a triangle to evoke stability and balance. The background also consists of many squares, which evoke stability as well, and the bottom and side of the painting consists of many flowers, which evokes growth. The colors of the background are the same as the clothing of the mother and child, which was a decision made by the artist to portray how this growth and stability manifested itself in their relationship and embrace. Ultimately, this painting not only shows the comfort in an embrace between mother and child, but also how an embrace allows for balance and growth in a child's life, reflecting the importance of physical love in a relationship between mother and child. This painting focuses more on the child than her mother, as her face is shown, and the viewer can see the serenity and tranquility on her peaceful face. Her head is also interlocked with her mother's to show a special connectedness and bond between the two. This painting is significant to me because it makes me think of the feeling I get when I personally embrace my own mother and the stability and tranquility that it results in. The next phase of this movie will explore embraces in a relationship. This first piece of modern art is entitled Love Story 2 and is by the Russian modern artist Anna Razumovskaya. This piece of art is extremely beautiful because it is so expressive and dynamic, as its washes of color reflect movement and vibrancy. The painting reflects the magic that can result from an embrace, and also how an embrace can be beautiful like a dance. The light blue coloring behind the man dancer could almost appear as wings, and the female dancer is lifted above the ground as if she's in flight, her arms extending out to reflect her freedom in the embrace. Evidently, this embrace creates magic between these two lovers, showing how truly magnificent an embrace can be. The two figures are also in greater detail than the background, which is mainly just washes of color, showing how in the moment a loving embrace cancels out everything in the world except for the touch of the other person. This painting accurately portrays how an embrace can be transcendent and ethereal. This embrace also has lots of stability and closeness in it, as the man's arms are wrapped tightly around the body of the woman, and his back leg extends backwards to create a stable foundation for the embrace. The outward curves of both of their bodies together creates a balanced and almost mirrored shape overall to show how together they find balance in an embrace. This painting is overall very significant to me because it shows how magical an embrace truly can be and causes me to reflect on those special moments in my own life. To continue on with couples embraces, this next piece of art, which is very famous, is The Kiss by Gustav Klimt. Although this painting is famous because of the kiss, I also find the embrace in it to be very beautiful. The orb of golden light that surrounds the couple in embrace reflects the emotional and physical richness that two people can get out of an embrace. The couple is so wonderfully entwined together to create one being, and you can see the physical tension and hold that they have on each other. The couple, kneeling on the ground with beautiful, delicate flowers, seem to bring this growth up into their embrace, as their bodies themselves are adorned with flowers and other beautiful objects. This painting is significant to me because it shows the richness and fulfillment that can be achieved from an embrace and the growth that it enables. This next piece of art is called A Dream for Two by the Romanian artist Carolina Asinci Gogalincianu. The painting is very interesting because it evokes how, through an embrace, one can find themselves in a dreamlike state. The water-like fluidity that surrounds the couple in embrace evokes the freedom that can come from an embrace, as it can rid someone of any stresses they may be experiencing and transport them to another place. You can almost see how these two people are feeling, that they are moving together on another plane of love in utter comfort and tranquility. Although they appear to be peaceful, there is also a sense of desperation in their embrace, as the man grasps the woman's head and she grasps his arm. This painting is so beautiful because they are not simply experiencing a dream, but rather they are experiencing a dream together. The overall palette is very peaceful, as it utilizes lots of blues and natural brown hues. The painterly style of this artwork allows the viewer to perceive it as art, and therefore to perceive the embrace itself as art. The next piece of art, which is also very painterly, is called It Will Be Alright by Silja Erg, a modern artist based in Estonia. This piece of art demonstrates the emotions that prompt an embrace rather than an embrace itself, which I particularly like. You can see the pain behind the man's furrowed brow and the security that the embrace gives him. The movement that is seen in this painting through all of the diagonal painterly lines allows the viewer to not only see the physical movement in the embrace, but the emotional movement as well. This painting is significant to me because when I look at it, I'm reminded of the support that an embrace offers when I am feeling down. The next painting I will be talking about is entitled The Painter's Honeymoon by Lord Frederick Leighton. This embrace is a little different than the others as it explores how an embrace can be associated with learning done with a partner. I particularly like this painting because it shows how, by learning together, two people can experience both an emotional and physical embrace. This painting relates directly to my life because it enables me to consider the mental closeness that results from working with another person and the relationship that can develop because of it. This painting also teaches viewers not only the beauty in working with others, but also the beauty of learning from others, and how both parties can benefit from that interaction. This is seen in that the couple is holding hands, but only the man writes, but both of them are very involved in what he is doing. Their billowing clothing also evokes movement in regards to both mental activity and physical embrace. As the light from the window sheds mostly on the woman who is learning from the man, this painting teaches the importance of listening to others and valuing what they teach you, which is why this painting is so significant to me. The next phase of art that I will be exploring is the self-embrace. This is Pygmalion in Galatea by Jean-Léon Gérôme, painted circa 1890. I particularly like this painting because to me it evokes the power of self-appreciation and the importance of literally embracing one's own creations. The sculptor depicted in this painting is embracing his own work of art, which is a marble statue. His own sculpture is wrapping his arms around her, as seen in how she is placing his hand on her upper back, which suggests how his own art is trying to prompt him to embrace her and appreciate her. Cupid is floating in the background and appears to be winding up an arrow to shoot at the artist. This love that the artist has for his creation literally brings it to life, as where he is touching her is turning into a skin tone color as opposed to white marble. This painting shows the importance of loving one's own work and how that can bring it truly to life. This embrace has lots of stability in it, as the boxes and the platform that the sculpture is on are comprised of equally balanced horizontal and vertical lines. To me, the sculpting tool on the ground symbolizes the importance of simply allowing your work to be finished. I often struggle with accepting that, at some point, my work is the best it can be and that it will never be perfect. I particularly resonate with this painting because the work itself is embracing the man, and she is actively wrapping his arms around her body to promote his love for her. Oftentimes, it is difficult to appreciate one's own work, but this painting encourages self-appreciation, and that is why I love it so much. The last painting that I will be discussing is the epitome of the self-embrace. I enjoy this piece of artwork because it is a different interpretation of the embrace, as there is only one person involved. It is called Girl with a Red Blanket and is by Egon Schiele. I really enjoy this piece of art because the woman in it is so obviously embracing herself. Although it is entitled Girl with Red Blanket, I think that the abstract red coloring that surrounds the woman isn't only a simple blanket. To me, this vibrant red shape around her represents the warmth and energy that radiates from her body due to her action of embracing herself. I think this painting is so beautiful because it reflects the warmth that is created in loving oneself, whether that may manifest itself in a literal blanket or a more obscure energy field. Without this red blanket, the woman's body would blend into the background. This was a careful choice made by the artist to evoke the importance of an emotional and physical embrace, and that without self love, one loses a true place in the world. This piece of art is very effective in conveying the importance of self love and embrace. Oftentimes, we spend so much time loving others that we forget to love ourselves. I love this piece of artwork so much because when I look at it, it reminds me of the power created by self love and to always love myself.